All right, let's talk about a tool you use literally every single day, but you might not be using it to its full potential. I'm talking about your voice. We're going to dive into what's called vocal vitality. Basically, the art of making what you say sound lively, engaging, and pretty much impossible to ignore. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a meeting, you're explaining this amazing idea you have, you're passionate about it, but you look around and you just see people's eyes glazing over? Or maybe you feel like you're constantly being talked over or just tuned out. Well, the problem might not be what you're saying, but how you're saying it. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the infamous monotone trap. Then we'll get into how to unlock your expressive voice. We'll open up your vocal toolkit, connect it all to real emotion, and then, of course, we'll wrap up with some simple ways you can practice and make all of this stick. Okay, our first stop is a place a lot of us get stuck in without even knowing it. The monotone trap. You know what I'm talking about, that flat, one-note delivery that can make even the most exciting news sound, well, boring. It is the #1 reason an audience just mentally checks out. I mean, the difference here is just stark. A monotone voice, it sounds boring, it sounds disengaged, and honestly, it makes your whole message feel a bit fuzzy and unclear. But an expressive voice, now that's engaging, it's lively, and it makes what you say totally memorable. It's really night and day.
So, how do we escape this trap? The key is actually super simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Variation. That's it. Just by consciously changing how you speak, you can turn your voice from this flat, boring line into a dynamic instrument that really grabs and holds people's attention.
And this gets us to the core idea here, vocal vitality. Look, this isn't about having a so-called good voice or a bad voice. It's about consciously filling your voice with life, with energy. It's about being deliberate and making your voice sound as dynamic as your ideas are. And why does any of this matter? Because your tone of voice is how you deliver emotion. And emotion, that's what creates a real, genuine connection with people. Without that emotional layer, you're just sending data back and forth. But with it, you're creating an actual experience for your listener. All right, so we get the why. Now let's get into the fun stuff, the how. We're going to open up your vocal toolkit and pull out the 3 most important tools you can start using like right now. We call them the 3 Ps of expression. First up is pitch. Instead of talking on one flat note, you can go a little higher or a little lower to make things interesting. It's the difference between saying this is important and this is important. See? Next is pace. You can talk really fast when you're excited about something, and then you can slow way down to make a really important point. And finally, my favorite, the most powerful and underused tool of them all, the pause. Sometimes a moment of silence says more than any word ever could. Okay, but I have to give you a word of warning here. The 3 Ps, they're amazing tools, but that's all they are, tools. The real goal isn't just to, mechanically change your pitch and pace. It's about connecting those changes to a real, genuine feeling. Just take this simple sentence here. This is a great idea. I can say it with real excitement, right? This is a great idea. Or I could say it with a whole lot of sarcasm. This is a great idea. Or maybe with some hesitation. This is a great idea. The words didn't change at all, but the emotion completely changed the meaning every single time. I think this is the best way to think about it. Emotion is the engine. It's the thing that gives your voice its power, what makes it compelling. Pitch, pace, and pause, those are just the controls, like the steering wheel and the gas pedal. They're what you use to direct all that power. But without the engine, the controls don't do you any good. So how do you get good at this stuff? Well, like playing any instrument, you've just got to practice. So let's go over a few super simple, really effective exercises you can do to build these new vocal habits until they feel totally natural. And here is a huge tip before you start. Don't be afraid to exaggerate. I'm serious. It's going to feel a little silly, maybe a bit over the top at first, but going big is one of the fastest ways to break those old, flat habits and build new muscle memory for being expressive. So here are a few things to try. You can do exactly what we just did, take one single sentence and just try saying it with a bunch of different feelings. Or, and this is a fun one, read a kid's story out loud. Go all out with the voices for the different characters. Even just practicing going from a really loud, powerful voice to a soft, quiet one helps build your range and control. When you boil it all down, this is the big takeaway. Your voice isn't just some thing that makes sound. It's an instrument. And once you start thinking of it that way, you can start learning how to actually play it with purpose, with skill, and with a whole lot of vitality. So, as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one final thought. You now have the toolkit. You know how to move beyond just spitting out information. So the real question is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to make people feel?